how many of your decisions on whether it's entertainment assets that you're purchasing or countering, say, WeChat Pay with Alipay and the strategic land grab that's going on in Southeast Asia right now, how much of it is driven by your competitive spirit with Pony Ma or others?
Pony did not have any experience of globalization, right? Not like us. There is a competition. I think, well, first, Alipay has been lonely running around for 10 years, no competitor, which is good for Alipay, but it's not good for the mission we want to do. When Tencent Pay came in, at the beginning, I think Alipay said, wow, we have a competitor. But I think when you're asking people now today, they're getting more fun because they know there's somebody we can work in together, we can influence more people, we can make the market bigger. And this is the fun part. I think Tencent Pay are learning a lot from us. We are also learning a lot from them. So those two companies, if we can work in together, getting the whole society cashless pay, the whole society based on the trust and credit, that will make the market much bigger.
The speed of the internet era oftentimes blurs the lines of regulation.
Yes.
And you push the boundary, and then regulators overreact or whatever. How have you stayed ahead of that and also not overstepping your boundaries?
We always step ahead of the regulators. We have to. Otherwise, we go nowhere. They say, hey, wait a minute. My job is to regulate. My job is not about innovation. My job is not to improve the other people's life. That's your job. It's the painful processing that Alibaba is learning.
How have you stayed close to the fire, though, without being burned?
We are very careful. When we're young, it's okay. Now we're big. We probably regulate ourselves much more stricter, much more than the regulators. Because today, we have more than 500 million people using us. We have such huge transactions. Anything wrong. So we have to discipline ourselves much more. But we also have to let the regulator, the policy is important.
Have you faced resistance within China for what you're doing? I recently interviewed Zhong Tingho, Wahaha. We all know about his comments about the internet economy, destroying manufacturing and a drive to zero, driving things down. Do you think there's an old guard in China that doesn't quite understand the new economy, that they'll have to adapt?
Of course, we're having this kind of resistance in the past 18 years almost every day. We see people like Mr. Zhong a lot. But, this is the evolution, the revolution of the technology. People like these old tycoons in the old economy, in their early days, they destroyed a lot of lower level companies. We are helping manufacturing, right? We sold more than $500 billion US products last year, and 70% of them were helping selling the manufacturing. Because we don't produce. Without us, these 70% of the $500 billion manufactured products will never be able to reach the consumers.
Will you facilitate reform at the state-owned enterprises from the outside? Because the vested interests want to keep the status quo.
Yeah, we're pushing that. And this is why a lot of banks don't like us in China. We're not necessarily interested in buying the banks to change it. But because of us chasing them around, they reform. The China banks really react very quickly in the past 3-5 years. These banks change their services so fast. They input so much resources on the technology and on serving the people better. You don't have to buy a bank and change one bank, but you push and chase them around, and when a tiger is following you, you can run much faster than you thought.
What do you see Alibaba being in 18 years? Because right now you can look at the storm clouds, you can say anti-trade rhetoric coming from Washington, you can see sentiment is not great right now. There's North Korea, there's a lot of concerns that really threaten global trade. So where can you project out 18 years, the next 18 years?
I think next 18 years, the globalization, the trade will be much better because of the internet. Because this is our mission, which I said EWTP, we should be electronic world trade platform. We're making sure that a small business and young people can benefit from that. And I think 18 years is enough for us to improve globalization instead of killing globalization. I believe when trade stops, war starts.
What's your U.S. strategy right now?
We never change our U.S. strategy. We want to help U.S. small, medium-sized companies, young people to sell to China.
Sell to China.
And sell to Asia. This is what we think. We think we don't want to go to USA being the local e-commerce company, which I think Amazon, eBay, so many nice, interesting e-commerce companies already all over USA.
You don't want to take on Amazon doing what they're doing?
No, no.
How about in entertainment, in Hollywood? I know you had a partnership a year and a half or so ago with Amblin and Steven Spielberg. You've been patient there. You've been the tortoise there, not the hare. So what's your strategy?
So we prepared Ali, entertainment for 10 years. We just started it. This is the number 30 year. We have 7 years to go. So the important is not going there, buy movie company or buy this and buy that. When you buy all the stuff, this is not yours. So you have to learn from them. You have a partner with them. So I think there are a lot of things China entertainment can learn from the Hollywood. We should partner with them. Should not think about it is good, let's buy it. No.
You talked about the coming winter in 2007 when you listed Alibaba.com, and sure enough, the winter came pretty quickly with the collapse of Lehman Brothers, and we saw the collateral damage. We also, of course, I was watching your progress through the tech bubble and that bursting. So you've had these challenges that wiped familiar names off the board. Are we facing a similar kind of tech bubble right now with these billion-dollar unicorns and the inflated tech scene? Are there any similarities?
No.
None?
No, not that much. I think the challenge at that time, a lot of people did not understand how powerful internet is, how to do internet way, and whether internet can sustain. So people just jumping, start to do it. And I find a lot of people have crazy ideas, but does not know how to operate, and does not know how to make their dream happen. But today, everybody knows internet is going to be powerful, it's going to change the human history. And also, I think the infrastructure of the internet, the infrastructure of the technology is much better than 10, 15 years ago. So if you're not that greedy, if you're not that stupid and crazy, it's easy to survive today and yesterday.